Williamson throwing it down. He had 11 points and 7 rebounds in the first half. Williamson, later in the quarter, Pelicans up by 9. They really established themselves early in this game. Brandon Ingram says, hey, man, remember me? And then later, Ingram can't get that one to go, stays with it. 17 points in the first half. He shot 8 of 9 from the floor. Pelicans up 8. They led by as many as 15 in the first half. But then LeBron James distributing. Montrezl Harrell, the recipient there. James, 6 assists in the first half. Took just 3 shots. Let the game come to him. Playing that point guard, point forward position, whatever you want to call it. Anthony Davis got the mid-range game working. And then bodying up on Williamson. Davis, 15 points in the first half. Lakers down 1 at the half. Third quarter. Pelicans are down 2. Williamson. A man his size, able to double clutch, stay in the air, and dunk that. Unbelievable, his athleticism. Finished with 21 points and 12 rebounds. Did I mention athleticism? LeBron James still doing it at 36. Able to get up and throw it down. And then James sizing up the defense, sees the lane, and gets there. Lakers up 10 after 3. Fourth quarter, Pelicans got it back down to 4, but Lakers weren't having it. James to Harrell for the dunk, and then James to Kuzma for 3. 11 assists for LeBron James in this game. 5 minutes to play, Lakers up 17 and running away with it. James out there by himself on the perimeter. 21 points on just 11 shots as the Lakers run away with it. 112-95. They're 11-3.
Does it help, though, to have, not to have to play over 30 because you're up by 20? Is that stuff that you can sort of build up and save for later in the season, or is it irrelevant?
No, man. I'm 36 years old, 18 years in the league. Ain't no save for something for later on in the season. My body is ready to play whatever I need to play throughout the course of the game. I go hard while I'm out there, and then I start my treatment after the game. So I wish I could bank time. I wish I was Justin Timberlake in that movie where I could bank some time, but I cannot do that at this point.
Just still learning, like with execution and learning that if a player is going to a certain spot, we all still got to figure out like what to do and like spacing. Sometimes somebody's driving and we have 3 people cutting and nobody to kick it out to. And it's small things like that we just got to fix.
LeBron James and Zion Williamson each led their teams with exactly 21 points on Friday, which brings their combined total through 3 meetings to 180 points. Only 3 pairs of number 1 picks have scored more over their first 3 meetings in the common draft era, which dates back to 1966. As promised, Paul Pierce is in the house. Good to see you again, my man.
Good to see you. How you doing?
Good, good. All right, so the Lakers down 15, and then they just went to another gear and ran away with it. How'd they do it?
Well, when you have a top-notch defense and you have LeBron in the locker room at halftime, you're like, guys, we got to take it to another level. I've been on teams, once we won a championship, there was no lead we felt like we couldn't come back from. And being that the Lakers are the champs, they're like, look, it's time to turn it up. We took a half off. Let them get their confidence. But look, we got another gear. We're the champs, and they just pressed the button. That's what we used to call it. Let's press the button, guys. Let's show them what we're really about, because to go from down 15 to up 20 points, the Lakers know what they're doing.
Frank Vogel said early in the season, and the players said that they were going to have to kind of work this early in the season. No real training camp, no real off season. They were right back on the court after the championship run, and they had a lot of new pieces. But now it seems like it's all working together. How'd they put it together?
Well, the guys are buying in. The new guys, Schroeder. Morris is back, a veteran who was there last year. Montrezl Harrell. These guys, they want to win a championship. Those guys are hungry, and they're keeping the energy up when they go into their video meetings, when they have, breakfast at the hotel. Those guys are hungry, and it's keeping this team's energy up. So there's not going to be, I don't expect any Laker hangover, because now LeBron's minutes are down. AD's minutes are down. They got this added depth to where they can kind of cruise through the season but still win a lot of games and turn it up once the playoffs come.
Yeah, James averaging about 32 minutes per night, which is low for him.
Yes.
And the Lakers now with 5 in a row. All right, we're going to talk Mavs Bucks in just a minute. First, Neil with the highlights.
LeBron James, in my eyes, and I believe in Jay Will eyes, and I believe in Keyshawn eyes, is already the GOAT. But to a lot of old heads like Mike Greeny, Stephen A., Max, Jalen Rose, he still have a lot to prove. And if he beat this super team along with what he did beating the Golden State Warriors, the 73-9 Golden State Warriors, I don't want to hear no more GOAT conversation, all right? Because it's over. Might as well crown King James, all right? That's what I'm saying, Zoo. That's what my tweet meant.
Yeah, no, Perk, you're right, but it's just I'm in between, right? Like MJ, LeBron, those guys, Magic, them. I just enjoy watching greatness. So but I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying about beating this trio. It will put you at another level.
But Key, look, and I don't fault you for that because listen, if I go and sit down with my grandpa and my great uncles, they'll argue me down that Kareem or maybe Magic is the GOAT or maybe even Bill Russell, right? If I go sit down with some of my uncles, they may say that, hey, they go ride with Michael Jordan. If I go sit down with this generation, they go ride with LeBron James. So what that tells me is some people like to drink cream soda, others like to drink Sprite, and some people like to drink Dr. Pepper. It's whatever your preference is. I'm not even mad at you about that. The thing that I have a problem with is that when people start saying like championships define a basketball player legacy all the way, and that's not true and it's not accurate because basketball is a team sport. This is not an individual sport like boxing or tennis or golf where you have to win championships to define your legacy. Do championships help your legacy? Absolutely, but it's a lot of individual accolades throughout for basketball players that actually could elevate them for as being an all-time great.
Perk, what was your feelings? And you knew this all along, obviously, James Harden, the way James went about positioning himself to leave Houston to get to a destination that his taste buds would like. What did you think about that?
I was a little disappointed in James. And James is a great dude, man, great friend of mine. But I was a little disappointed in him. And they have this old saying, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And I wasn't mad at James for requesting a trade or wanting to go to a title contender because he is getting up in this age and he is going past his prime. But the way he did it, especially the last interview, one thing we all know, especially you, Jay and Key, is that the last thing you should do is throw your teammates under the bus. And I thought he did just that by saying we're not good enough, we're not talented enough. Like, you don't have to say that about your teammates. They already know that you don't want to be there. Even if you feel that way, you're supposed to keep that inside. So I don't have a problem with him wanting out. I just didn't like the way that he conducted himself. And on another note, his professionalism, showing up late to training camp, showing up out of shape. Because here's the thing, it gets a little deeper with me. It's going to hurt the next generation, in my opinion. Guys like Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, who paved the way for guys like James and Kyrie and Kevin Durant and LeBron James to be getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. Guess what? The way that certain guys are acting right now, they're burning that bridge down. It's going to hurt the future. And that's not what you want to do, because guess what the owners go do? They go to the next CBA and they go be like, nah, we need to reconstruct some things. We need to address some things. I don't know if we could give guys $100 million.
That's a great point. Perk brought it back to the past with Michael Jordan, now looking ahead to the future on what this could possibly mean. We should mention the deal is now official. It had been unofficially official for a while, but here's the statement from the Nets GM, Sean Marks. And by the way, has he been swinging for the fences since he got the job all the way around? Quote, adding an all-NBA player such as James to our roster better positions our team to compete against the league's best. He went on to then say James is one of the most prolific scorers and playmakers in our game, and we are thrilled to bring his special talents to Brooklyn. Jay?
Big Perk, does this now, considering the way James Harden got out, you talk about him being unprofessional, you talk about the way he threw some teammates under the bus with everything happening with Kyrie, Does this turn the Brooklyn Nets into the new villains of the NBA?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but people are going to be waiting for them to fall or waiting for them to fail. They're not bringing a fan base there, I tell you that much, especially the way that Kyrie is handling things right now. And I tweeted about Kyrie when he first said that he wasn't playing because of everything that's going on in the world today. I said, you know what? If any player decide to take a game or two off and decompress or want to address some in social justice issues or address what's happening around the world, I'm okay with that. But then when the video surfaced and then when I found out he wasn't communicating with the organization and things to that nature, that's when it raised the red flag for me. And to top it off, he's the vice president of the Players Association. So when I said about 4 or 5 months ago, when they voted Kyrie in as the vice president, I said, oh, Lord, the blind is leading. This is exactly why I made that statement.
Big Perk, speaking of Kyrie, what do you think is actually going on? And how does that affect this team when he does decide to come back?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, we all wondering what's going on. Hell, I think Sean Marks and the organization and Steve Nash wonder what's going on, and I think that's why they pulled out their Liberty Mutual insurance policy and went and got James Harden because they just don't know.